By the way, Nvidia is working on a 6th-day higher, the first higher high since June. Thank you, Bespoke. I think it's Jensen's wealth now, eclipsing Intel's market cap.
He had a better year than Intel.
He sure did. Over $100 billion in wealth. Intel obviously below that.
Intel, it may not.
By the way, yesterday Microsoft's Azure tweeted it's now officially the first cloud running Nvidia's GB200 Blackwell AI servers.
But how about how many?
OpenAI also announcing as well, apparently, that they've received some shipments. That's October 8th. Right. Nvidia has a third quarter that ends, fiscal third quarter, it ends in October, so that should imply what? Blackwell revenues actually start to hit?
Yes, and
this quarter?
The yields are going to get better and better. And what you're going to end up seeing that they're going to produce, say, 99% of these things are going to work. Right now, they do not have that kind of yield.
This video focuses on Nvidia's pivotal role in the AI and technology landscape. The company recently hosted a global summit, highlighting its involvement in various industries like healthcare, finance, and space exploration. Notably, Nvidia is helping set up a radio telescope to potentially receive signals from outer space, showcasing its forward-thinking approach. The video emphasizes Nvidia's leadership, with CEO Jensen Huang being portrayed as a visionary, and the company's stocks nearing all-time highs as they continue to dominate the AI hardware market. Another significant point from the video is the growing importance of Nvidia's Blackwell AI servers, which are now integrated into Microsoft's Azure cloud platform. The video mentions how other companies like OpenAI and Tesla are also acquiring Nvidia's high-powered chips for major projects, hinting at even greater demand for Nvidia's products. This surge in demand is expected to boost Nvidia's revenues, especially as Blackwell yields improve over time. In addition, the video discusses the broader implications of Nvidia's rise, with experts weighing in on how sustainable its growth is. While some industries like automotive and traditional data centers may be seeing challenges, AI demand remains high. Nvidia's ability to meet this demand positions the company as a major player, with expectations that its market performance will continue to exceed expectations.
And yesterday, Nvidia had a global summit where I have to tell you, when I was looking at what was covered, here, this is what was covered. You had health, industrial revolution, financial plus cyber, climate, autonomous, and then my favorite, space, where they are now setting up a huge radio telegraph to see who is transmitting to us from outer space, talking to us.
Yes, of course, the aliens.
They're not aliens, they're trying to get in touch with us.
That doesn't make them aliens.
Aliens are people who go over the border.
They're trying to call us, and Nvidia is the operator.
Absolutely.
Yes. Jensen Huang is an alien.
Okay, no, he's hardly. He's actually a Renaissance man, not unlike Da Vinci. But I think what's interesting is, and I'm talking about someone who is thinking so bigger than we are.
I know.
Nvidia shares are pulling back a bit as the chipmaker wraps up its AI summit in Washington, and after almost testing their record highs from the summer today. After the break, we'll speak with one analyst who sees 20% upside still coming. The exchange is back after this. Nvidia's AI summit in Washington, D.C. is wrapping up today and nearly propelled the shares to a new all-time high. The company is focused on energy efficiency and enterprise software as they work to avoid being boxed in as just a processor company worth a couple $1 trillion. Meanwhile, Foxconn is announcing plans to build the world's largest manufacturing facility for a key component of Nvidia's Blackwell platform. Here to discuss is Stacey Rasgott, who's senior analyst at Bernstein. Good to have you, Stacey. Let's start with the big picture takeaways on Nvidia after this DC summit. The shares almost kissed that new high, or made a new high this morning.
Yeah, they did. Look, I mean, people are getting excited about the story again, especially as we approach earnings and then year end into next year as their new platform, Blackwell, really starts to ramp. And look, by all indications, their own commentary, all the supply chain checks and everything else, demand for this product just looks off the charts. And you know, it's usually a good time to be owning Nvidia into the launch of a product cycle, and that's where we are right now. And this cycle, if the checks are any indication, has the potential to be massive. So people are getting really excited about it.
And maybe it's just a kind of near-term technical analysis, but I listened to Katie Stockton. She says, you know, maybe it's range-bound for now. Maybe we go back under 100. You know, there's been a lot of excitement and a lot of hype. And when I know about Blackwell, you think, well, most people know.
Yeah, I mean, the last time it went under 100 was when there were some rumors about some delays to Blackwell, some redesigns to some of the chip components that are on it. And as it turns out, there were some issues. They were able to sort of work through it in a relatively quick fashion, and it kind of turned into sort of a nothing burger, at least from the standpoint of the trajectory of the ramp. It doesn't look like it slowed anything. But that was the last time it went under 100. Short of anything like dramatic like that, I don't know if we see that anymore. Like I said, at this point, the indications that the numbers are much more likely, I think, to have an upward bias than a downward bias. And I suspect that's true for the stock as well as we get into the ramp into the end of the year.
Real quickly, I want to ask you about some of the rest of the space as well, but what do you have for the PE here? I mean, what are the earnings that the market is expecting, and what do you think is possible? And what should the multiple be for a company growing like this?
Yeah, even the multiple is actually not that expensive if you believe the numbers. I think the sell side is like somewhere around $4, maybe a little more. I suspect the buy side, the investors are higher. They're probably closer to 450 or 5. And again, if you look at some of the supply chain checks and you see where the revenues could go, if the demand is sufficient to meet the supply that is likely to be available, you could get numbers that are higher than that. And so if the numbers are any close to being correct, the stock's 130, it's called like mid to high 30s multiple on a realistic kind of number. It's not that expensive. And I've made this point before. It's much cheaper today than it was before the run started a year and a half ago.
Right, because the
stock's gone up a ton, but the earnings have gone up much more than the stock. So as long as these numbers are sustainable, but that's the controversy is the numbers have gotten so big so quickly. Like, is it sustainable? That is the question. But for now, like I said before, I suspect numbers are much more likely to be going up versus down.
And is it cyclical? I mean, historically speaking, I mean, the new chip is always, gets a high multiple, but over time, they become too cyclical. They get lower multiples as a result because investors don't like the ups and downs. And some of the bulls on this have to say basically that it's not going to be cyclical this time around in order to justify trading where it is and with the expectations where they are. And what's going on with the rest of the industry in terms of supply and demand right now?
Yeah, you bet. So if we look at the rest of the industry, like this will be an upturn year for semis in general, but I wouldn't say it's a healthy upturn. Like memory is going to grow a lot, because memory was horrendous last year, and actually they took supply offline because the demand was so horrible, and because of that pricing went up, and so memory will be good. PCs and smartphones, they're okay. You're probably not getting a lot of growth, and there's some worries about things like CPU inventory in PCs. Data center, like AI is off the charts, but traditional data center networking and CPUs are pretty weak. Industrial has been weak. It looks like maybe some parts of that have bottomed, but we're not seeing a ton of signs of recovery yet. And automotive is now starting to roll over, maybe in a pretty big way. We've had a number of OEMs in recent weeks have negatively pre-announced in some pretty good fashion. And so in general, like outside of AI, I wouldn't say that things look fantastic, but AI demand, like I said, right now it's much more, it's being gated by supply rather than demand. They're selling everything that they can make right now in AI. And fortunately for Nvidia, that's where they are. That's where they play.
Up 2,000% in the past 2 years. One of the great stories. You got $155 price target. I think it has a little bit left to go.
Well, that's at XAI.
Yeah, that's a separate company. I didn't say Tesla.
And he's already got, I believe, a huge data center up and running already in Tennessee with the money they raised at XAI.
Because he's contacted, Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania?
Incredible.
He did call Shapiro.
He's Mr. Battlestate.
One is for AI, for XAI and its mission, and the other obviously is Tesla and self-driving.
Go to that last conference call when he actually gave a nod to Jensen Huang. I think it was his first nod in history. Realize that Jensen Huang is smarter than he is when it comes to this. That's what he said. There's a podcast, David. No one knows that you're dissing me by not talking to me. It's a podcast every day. You can just go to it. Okay? Don't forget my top 10.
In conclusion, the video highlights Nvidia's crucial role in shaping the future of AI and technology. With projects ranging from space communication to AI chip advancements, the company is positioning itself as a leader in multiple industries. Nvidia's innovative work, such as helping set up a massive radio telescope and the launch of their Blackwell AI servers, is driving significant growth. The company's ability to consistently deliver cutting-edge technology is pushing their stocks to new heights, reflecting their strong market position. As Nvidia continues to dominate the AI landscape, experts are optimistic about the company's future growth, though questions remain about how sustainable this rapid expansion can be. While AI demand is skyrocketing, some traditional tech sectors face challenges, highlighting the balance Nvidia must strike to maintain its leadership. The video leaves viewers with a sense of excitement about the company's potential, while also prompting further discussion on its long-term trajectory. How do you see Nvidia's technology impacting industries beyond AI, such as space exploration? Do you think Nvidia's rapid growth can be sustained in the long term, or could challenges in other sectors slow them down?